Okay, so we'll today we'll see some examples like what we discussed about specific probability density functions corresponding to different specific random variables. And then we'll see some examples using those. But before that, let me finish what I started with yesterday. So we started talking about the reliability of a system. So I'll just introduce two definitions. So basically, we talked about three functions. I mean, we had a random variable corresponding to a system. And we said, okay, the system has many components. For example, if you consider any system, okay, so if some of the components or all the components, okay, for example, if you consider a car, okay, a car, suppose there is AC, okay, AC in the car or the music system in the car. That is also part of the entire car, but if the system, I mean, if the AC or let's say the music system, okay, sound system, whatever there is in that car, if that does not work, the component fails, okay, that does not mean the entire system does not work, right? But there may be some integral part of a system. If that fails to work, like an engine or something like that, so if that fails to work, then the entire engine, entire system collapses. Okay, so yeah, there I will discuss today. We'll define there are two kinds of systems like that. Before that, what we discussed is that as time to failure. So that was our random variable, and then we considered. So here the domain is or the range space is 0 to infinity. So the system starts at 0, so it can fail only after t equal to 0. So this is the at any point of time the system can fail, and x denotes the random variable at which it fails. And then the PDF corresponding to this x, okay, this is called the failure density. This is just the density function corresponding to this random variable x. And then we also discussed the failure rate function, which we denoted as rho t. And then we had another function, okay, which is called the reliability function. And this means 1 minus ft. This is what we had denoted, 1 minus ft. This f is corresponding to the CDF of the random variable capital X. So this is called the reliability function. This is the probability that the component will not fail before time t. So that's why it is 1 minus ft. Okay. So ft is x less equal to t. Okay. So that means the system fails before time t. So 1 minus ft meaning that system will not fail. And then we had seen that we actually, I think I proved a theorem which said, okay, these functions are related, and RT is nothing but exponential of minus 0 to t rho x dx, and then also we said ft is equal to rho t rt. So if we know one of them, then we can find the other function. Okay, and then we had seen one example where we considered a generic function, a rho t, which is the rate function, which was, I think, some scalar times alpha beta times a to the power some b minus 1 and t to the power b minus 1 beta minus 1. So if this is my rho t, then we had calculated what is my ft, and we had seen that ft follows verbal distribution. Okay, so this is a very, very specific example where, I mean, this kind of distribution arises in analysis of systems. Okay, this is a very, very typical example. I mean, this is you can say this is a practical example where this kind of distribution would arise. And since you know the formulas of mean and variance or momentary function, using those you can have some properties of the system. Now I'll just define two different kind of systems, and that is where we'll end. So because in exam you may expect this kind of a problem where there will be a system, and this is component wise. For each component we had done this analysis. For each component there is R. So if I is the component of a system, let's say there are 10 or 100 components of the system. Okay, so corresponding to each component or each subsystem also you can say. So any system can always be considered as an interconnected system of subsystems. That means there are different parts of the systems, and there is a like flow, okay, flow diagram. Okay, like if this works, then that will work. This works, and so on. Okay, So this is kind of like the entire system, and this vertices can be considered as this subsystems. Okay, so and this edges, the directed edges, the directed links, okay, they denote the dependency of the subsystems in between the subsystems. So for any component, let's say this is I. So for any component I, we discussed about RIT, FT, or FIT, and rho IT. Yeah, this is what we have discussed. Now, let me define a system. I mean, there are two kinds of system. Okay, I mean, so these components are arranged, okay, or they are configured, or there is a configuration. Okay, depending on that, we classify a system of two types. One is called a series system. In the series system, what happens is this is a system of components, okay, and they are arranged in such a way that the entire system fails if any of its components fails to operate. Okay, so then we will call it a series system. Series means what? The system fails, the entire system fails, entire system fails when any of its component, okay, any of its components fails. Then we call it a series system. So the configuration is in terms of a series, and otherwise we call it a parallel system. Parallel system, where the entire system is arranged, or the components are arranged in such a way that the entire system fails only if all of its components fail. Okay, so the entire system fails when all of its, so this is any and this is all of its components or subsystems component, okay, fail. So if all components fail to operate, then the entire system collapses. So now let me just denote this RIT to be this reliability function, corresponding to the ith component, and let me denote RS. This is the reliability function for the entire system. So here, what I'll define reliability function of the entire system. So for these two kinds of systems like a parallel system, series system, I'll just define what is RS in terms of RI. Okay, that is where I'll end. So in the question, maybe I will try to solve some problem, maybe. But I mean, in questions like this, like you will be given some kind of RIT, and then you will be asked, for example, FT or ROT, and so you know the formulas how to get it. Okay, so these are the formulas. Or maybe ROT is given, then we have to find out RT. So the thing is, if you can find out its component-wise reliability function, then you can find out the reliability function for the entire system. So what is how the entire system, the reliability function of the entire system, RST, how it is related to RIT? This I'll just define, and this is where I will end here about this reliability study. So the reliability function of the entire system. Now, so first consider we have, let's say, suppose we have k number of components, of the entire system. Okay, and let us say Ri, and also assume that Ri. So the failure of the ith, because say there are many things here, but let us make our life simple for the time being. The failure of a particular component may depend also on the failure of another component, let's say, but we'll not consider that situation here. Let us say it's Ri, this is independent of any other I. So that means we'll assume that this RIT, okay, the components are independent basically. Okay, so the reliability of any component is not affected by the reliability of the others. That Ri's be independent. So independent meaning reliability of any component is independent of the reliability of other components. Of any component is unaffected or not affected by the reliability of others. Reliability of others. The problem is in real life, what happens, this is a very typical situation you're considering, but in advanced stage, if you study reliability engineering later on, some point of time, then you'll see that realistic systems, okay, they of course, there are components which depend on each other, and then you have to deal with that kind of a system, okay, in a different way. I mean, the question would be like, how does it dependent? Okay, so then that will be also a question, like if particular I and J, there are two components which depend, then there is a correlation coefficient or something like that. I will define it for two different random variables. So because here you can consider there is a random variable here, and here also you can consider random variable. For example, xi here is the denote the failure time, and y j, let's say, or xj, let's say the failure time here. Okay, xj, but xj and yj, so they are not independent. So failure of one system component is independent on the other one. Then the question will be how does it dependent and so on. So that will be a very different study. But and there you have to consider random vectors, because let's say there are k components, so you have to consider x1, x2, xn, and then we'll see later on in this course that if we have more than one random variables, then there will define something called covariance matrix, okay, which will give you the the dependency between the components of the system or the individual random variables. But here our life is simple, so everything is independent. So reliability of any component is independent of the other one. Okay. Yeah. So now we will consider the series system. For series system, what happens here? Any component fails means the entire system fails. Then when does it not fail? Because RT is defined by when does it not fail. So then the entire system, does not fail if and only if no component fails. No or none of its component fails. Okay. So we can say, since this is independent, RST is the product of the RI. So I can write R1, or maybe I can just write product of RIT, okay, I equal to 1 to k. This is the reliability. So if you know the reliability of periodic function of each subsystem, or if each component, then the product of this will be the reliability function for the entire system. Okay, and for the parallel system, what happens? The parallel system. So here let us assume also the same thing, like there are k independent components, they are arranged in parallel. Okay, then what will happen is, okay, if one system does not fail, subsystem or component of one of its components, so the first component, okay, first maybe anyone, okay, of this k. So if that is the first component to fail, then the system will not fail. Okay, then you have to wait for the second system to second component to fail, and then once the second component fails, then the third, and so on. Okay, so all the components, okay, of the entire system should fail, and then only the entire system will fail. Okay, then we'll say that reliability at time t in this case, okay, that that at least one of the k component does not fail before time t. So then the system reliability, call it like this, the system reliability RS, so system reliability. It is does not fail, right? System reliability of the system, of the entire system at time t. At time t is the probability that at least one of the components or k components, okay, does not fail before time t. And here this is given by, let's say, RST is given by 1 minus the probability that all components fail. And this will be 1 minus product of I equal to 1 to k, 1 minus RIT. Okay, so these are the, so in the question you may be asked what is the probability that some of the components or the entire system will not fail at particular time t. And then you have to use this formulas to solve the problem. Yeah, so this is where we'll end discussing about this reliability systems, reliability of system, and now we'll focus on some particular problems. Okay, so like let me write some of the problems here. So let me consider some problems. So this is problem solution. Okay, now let me start with a very simple problem. Suppose we have a random variable x which follows which is distributed as normal, and let's say the mean is 25 and the variance is 36. Then the question is, for what values of k, okay, what values k, we can have, that's the probability of mod of x minus 25 less equal to c, this is equal to 0.9544. How do we do that? How to find this value of k for which x minus 25, that means x minus mu here is 25. So the mean is 25 for the normal and sigma square is 36. Okay, so the probability of this has to be equal to this. How do we go? How do you solve this problem? Anybody? Okay, I always said whenever you have a problem with normal distribution, you always convert this problem into standard norm. Okay, so what is given here, 0.9544, this is equal to probability of mod of x minus 25 less than equal to some k, right? So this means this is probability of minus k, okay, less than equal to x minus 25 less equal to k. Now what is the standard deviation here for this random variable x?
6.
So probability of minus k, we have to convert it to normal, the standard normal, so we have to divide it by 6. So here also you have to divide by 6 and let's equal to k by 6. So x minus mu by sigma, right? And we said we'll denote it as phi or z, capital Z. So this means this is minus k by 6, less equal to z. So z stands for the standard normal. Or you can, in some books, you'll write capital phi. Okay, so this is some books you'll find it written as capital phi. So let's equal to k by 6. Now this has to be equal to this value, but this also again can be written as so this is basically the area. So let's say the standard normal, so 0 is the mean. Okay, this is kind of the normal distribution. Okay, now somehow k is there, let's say some k is here. Okay, k and this is minus k, or let's say minus k by 6 and this is k by 6. So we are trying to find out the area between this. Okay, this is actually the probability, and this has to be equal to this number. So that means was what? This is nothing but probability of z less equal to k by 6 minus probability of z less equal to minus k by 6. Okay, so that means now this is symmetric, so it has to be 2 times probability of z less equal to k by 6 minus 1, or you can just take the minus into plus 1 minus this. So then the question is, you have to see the table for standard normal, and you have to see from here. Okay, let me just write it down. So this implies what? Probability of z less equal to k by 6. Okay, this should be equal to 1 plus 0.9544 divided by 2. So what will this one? 1.9544 divided by 2. So this will be, okay, this will be 0.915747, okay, 2. So now for what values? So now see the table. See the table and find out for what values of capital or small z, let's say, for the table. This is equal to this value, 0.9772. From the table, you consider this value. I said to consider table as a matrix. So inside that, this may be this one, and then you have to find out z. So let us see the table. Okay, where is that? Yeah. So let us see the table, and it is what we are looking for. Table statistical table for normal, right? For standard normal here. Okay, let me see this one. Okay, here everything is not here. Okay, just a minute. And the positive value. So what is this? 0.9772. Where do you find it? Inside this table. Where do you find the value 0.9772? So you started with 0.5000. Huh?
2. So at row number 2.
2, yeah.
2.0.
So it will be corresponding to the row what 2.0, and the column is also 0.00. So 2.0 plus 0.0 is 2 only, right? So this should be z should be 2. So that means we have from here what we can say. So that is z is equal to 2. So from here what we can say that k by 6 is equal to 2, which implies k equal to 12. Okay, so this could be a problem. Okay, so let us consider another problem. Okay, let us say, okay, another problem number 2. Suppose we have a random variable. Okay, suppose let's say x follows gamma. Okay, let us say gamma 1 1. So that means there are 2 parameters and both are 1. Okay, now the question is, okay, what is the probability that x lies between its mean of x and median? What is this? Now, so the question is very clear that x is a random variable which follows gamma. Okay. Now I want to find out probability of some a less than equal to x less than equal to b. A is equal to the mean of x, so I have to first find the mean of x, and b is the median of x, and x follows gamma 1 1. So what is fx here? Can anybody tell me? What is the PDF corresponding to gamma 1, 1? This could be a potential problem for your exam. So then we have to find out first what is the PDF. So what is the PDF if you consider both the constant as 1, 1?
1 by gamma.
Gamma का भी value रहेगा ना. So if you have gamma of some constant, put the constant and see what is the value. Gamma of 1 is equal to what? Just put everything and see what is the function. What is the PDF? Or you can directly write in Google what is gamma.
E raised to the power minus x.
E to the power minus x, yeah. So you can see e to the power minus x. So this will be e to the power minus x when x is bigger than 0 and 0 otherwise. Now let us first find what is the median, okay? What is the median of this random variable? Median means what? The percentage should be equal to half, right? So I have to find a value q. So whatever the gamma this is, I have to find some q here, for which if there is this curve, this is e to the power minus x, right? When x is positive, otherwise it is 0. So this is the PDF. And e to the power minus x means how does it look like? Will it increase or decrease? If x goes to, if x is increasing, decrease. So it is something like this. X, what is the value of e to the power 0?
1.
1. So it is not x. So it is e to the power minus x is x bigger than 0, right? Other, so at 0 it is 0. It is not exactly 1. But let us say 1 is somewhere here. It will start from here and then it will go like this, right? So we have to find the value q for which the probability is divided into half. Like area under is this one, area. So this is what is the median. So half should be equal to 0 to q e to the power minus x dx. This is what we need to find. So from here we'll find q and then q will be the median. So then it is e to the power minus x. So if we integrate it to the power minus x, then it is from 0 to q. So this is 1 minus e to the power minus q. So this implies half is equal to, okay, half is equal to this 1 plus halves, right? So anyway, what is that? Okay. Okay, it is a minus q. This should be equal to 1 minus half, so equal to half. So q is equal to log 2. So this is my median. I got the median, which is log 2, and then I have to find the mean. Now, what is the formula for mean of gamma? What is the expected value of the gamma distribution? The random will correspond to gamma. So this is based on alpha times theta. You can check. This is the product of the parameters. So here it will be 1. Okay, so basically what I'm interested to find out what is this. Less than equal to x, less than equal to 1. Now you can find it out. This is just an integration. Okay, you can find out its answer. Okay, now let us see another problem. Okay, suppose this is problem 3. Suppose you are given a function. Let us say, okay, so yeah, so I can pick any function, but time is also short. So let me choose something more interesting. Okay, so let us say this one. Suppose we are constructing, we are designing, let's say, a box. Okay, a box we are designing. So let's say we have this. We are designing this box. Okay, we are designing this box. Okay, where, so there is a square. There's a square in the base. So we are designing this box, and let's say the height should be equal to 10 inches. Okay, suppose we want to design. Suppose we want to design a box, okay, of height some unit, let's say 10 inches, 10 inches, and let's say its base is a random variable, which is x. I mean, that will take some values. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter. But I fix my height and the base, okay, is x inches. This x is a random variable. So that means, okay, inches. Okay. So let's say this x is a random variable. Now x will have a distribution. You pick some value of x. Okay. You can suppose x has some kind of a distribution. Okay. So that means what is the probability that you will pick some value for x? Depending on that probability, you will have some value. So if x is distributed as normal, x is distributed on uniform, x is gamma, whatever it is. Okay. It may be continuous, discrete, whatever it is. Okay. So there is a domain on which x is varying. Okay. It could be 0 to infinity, it could be minus infinity, whatever it is, some values, or it could be a continuous domain, 0 to infinity, whatever it is. Not minus, because a base is it has to be positive. So at least 0 to infinity. Okay, 0 means bigger than 0 and so non-negative value. So x inches. Okay. Now, if x is, let me make this problem simple. We can take a complex version of this problem, maybe a little later, but let us fix that. So x inches. Suppose x is uniform. X follows, or let me just write, x follows uniform distribution over an interval. So let's say 2, 8. Okay, the interval is 2, 8, or uniform distribution over the interval. So I am picking the value from 2 to 8 over the interval. So my base is from 2 to 8, and it follows uniform distribution. So the value will be picked, let's say from here to here. Let's say it is from 2 to 8. 2 to 8, one value will be picked from 2 to 8 with probability 8 minus 2, that is 1 by 6. So over the interval, for the interval, let's say 2, 8. Okay. Then question is, what is the expected volume? Expected volume of the box. Who can tell me the answer? So first of all, if x is base is a random variable, some x, whatever x is, and the height is 10, then what is the volume? Volume is what? 10 times x square?
Yes,
okay?
sir.
Yeah. Now I want to find the expected value of b, right? So that means I want to find the expected value of 10x square. So which is what? Which is 10. This is a continuous distribution, this is a uniform distribution. So 10 times ex square, this is just the formula of the expectation. Now this is nothing but what? 10 times x square fx dx, and this fx is from 2 to 8, otherwise it is 0. So then you can find it out. So it is 10 times 2 to 8 x square by 6. Okay, fx equal to 1 by 6. So this dx. Then you can find out its expected volume. Okay. So this could be a potential problem for your exam. Okay. We can make this problem little. We can make a little later. Suppose instead of uniform, let us say I am picking it from normal distribution with some mean and variance. So I'm taking some standard normal with a mean and a variance. Suppose I take standard normal, mean is 0, 1 is the variance. Then what will be my expected volume? You can also try to solve this problem. But we will do it later, let's say. Let me solve some more problem quickly, because I want to pick that example when I want to treat. My next topic will be how to find probability density function of a random variable. So here, for example, here X was a random variable. Now this is a function of X, and now my problem is to find the expectation of this function of this random variable. This can be considered as some function f of X, right? So whenever I have some random variable, it has some PDF, and if I consider any function of that random variable, then how do I find its PDF? So PDF of function of a random variable, how do I find it? Okay, and these are the uses. Okay, so there is a direct formula, okay, to calculate the PDF. Okay, here I did not calculate the PDF. It could be sometimes very difficult. That's why I said we'll talk about normal little later. But and later means not today, maybe the next day. But at least here we can see like what is the use of this. Now let me write one more problem where also you'll see some function. Okay, suppose we have a random variable, okay, X. Now let's say X is uniform. X is distributed as uniform, okay, on the interval. In fact, I wrote it like A to B side, most likely. So 0 to 3, okay, on the interval 0, 3. That means 0 to 3, okay, this is value is 1 by 3. Okay, this value is 1 by 3. This is my uniform distribution. Okay, otherwise it is 0. Here it is 0. Here it is 0. So X follows this, suppose. Okay, now my question is, what is the probability that the quadratic equation, the equation, let's say 4t square plus 4t x plus 2 is equal to 0 has real roots. So this is a quadratic function, okay, or quadratic polynomial you can say, and x is a constant here, but the value of this constant is picked uniformly following uniform distribution between 0 to 3. Okay, so x is taking here a range of values basically, but once it is picked, then I can calculate its roots. Okay, now what is the probability? I can calculate the root here, but what is the probability that both the roots are real? Okay, so let me first write down the density function. Density function will be what? 1 by 3 when 0 less equal to x less equal to 3 and 0 otherwise. So this is the uniform distribution. Now what is the condition, okay, for which it will have real roots? This equation, its discriminant should be bigger or equal to 0. Now what is the discriminant here? Under what condition the value, under what condition this polynomial will have real roots? This is constant you can consider. Yeah, tell me.
B square minus 4AC is greater than or equals to 0.
What is that? So B square means what?
4x square.
Yeah. For example, 16x square. Yeah. 16x square minus 4AC. A here is
Yes,
4
sir.
and C is x plus 2. So it is 16, right? 4 into 4, 16, A times C. A is 1, A is 4, and C is 2, x plus 2. This should be equal to bigger equal to 0. So which means what? It means x square, you can take the 16 out. X square minus x minus 2 should be bigger equal to 0. That means x minus 2 times x plus 1 should be bigger equal to 0. So actually then my question is, what is the probability that this value x minus 2 times x minus x plus 1, this is bigger equal to 0. So when this can be bigger equal to 0 and when x can take the values from 0 to 3, right? So when can this be bigger equal to 0? This quantity, forget about the probability.
X is greater than 2 and it is less than 3.
Less than 3?
Less than 3 for like the condition of the f function.
But this is the product of two terms, right? Something is this times this. When the product of two terms or two numbers is bigger or equal to 0, if both of them are bigger or equal to 0, right? X minus 2 has to be bigger than or equal to 0. and x plus 1 also has to be bigger or equal to 0. Then only it can be bigger or equal to 0, this product, right? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So if, yeah, so then what can you say about x? So one is x bigger or equal to 2, this, or what you can say about x plus 1?
X less than minus 1. If
Yeah, less equal to minus 1. So this or this, okay? So this means what? Probability of x less equal to minus 1 plus probability of x bigger or equal to 2. Can anybody tell me why this is a plus? So these values you can compute, minus infinity.
Disjoints.
Huh?
I think disjoints are independent of that.
Yeah, yeah. So this, then we know what is fx and we can compute this, right? So we are done. Okay, so this is another problem which is interesting. Okay, now let me solve. I have a little more time, so let me consider one more problem. So these problems are all, let's say, continuous distribution. Let me talk about a discrete distribution. Okay, this is problem number 4. Suppose let me consider the Poisson distribution. Suppose I say that suppose that the number of accidents, okay, car accident or something like that. So car accidents, okay, per week, okay, in Kharagpur, let's say, in Kharagpur, okay, has Poisson or follows Poisson distribution. Poisson distribution. What is the parameter here? Parameter here is the mean. Okay, with mean. Parameter means the lambda, but lambda is equal to the mean also. So if it is written Poisson distribution in the question, most of the times it will say it is something follows Poisson distribution, so with some mean. Okay, that means you know the parameter. With mean 3, let's say. The question is, what is the probability? What is the probability that there can be exactly 2 accidents? Okay, exactly 2 accidents in 2 weeks. How do you solve this problem? So per week, the mean is 3. Means on average, there are 3 accidents per week. So if you have 2 weeks, then what is the mean? For the entire 2 weeks. Because you want to calculate what is the probability that there are exactly 2 accidents in 6 weeks. And the accident follows, number of accidents follows Poisson. And what is the mean of the accident in 2 weeks? Huh? In 1 week, the mean is 3. So in 2 weeks, the mean should be equal to 3 times 2, which is 6. So the mean of the accidents in 2 weeks, 2 weeks, okay, is, that's a lambda, which is 3 times 2, which is 6. Number of accident follows Poisson. What is the PDF of Poisson? Fx equal to lambda to the power x to the power minus lambda factorial x. X has to be equal to 2. There will be, so you know the mean now. So exactly 2 accidents means we want to calculate probability f equal to 2. So this is probability that number of accidents x is equal to 2. So this is 6 square to the minus 6 by factorial 2 equal to something. Okay, so this could be one problem. Okay, I think yeah, time is up. Let us stop here, and next day Well, I mean, there are many problems which you can find. You will see, I think our coordinator will upload some kind of assignments. And I think there is also an exam, I think the first week of October or in, yeah, I think, I don't remember actually. You can see the syllabus and there it is. Let me just check it. When is the, your exam? Let me just check it. So exam.